It's time for everyone's favorite movie segment. Spoiler alert. This week's movie was a little Hollywood gem with A-list actors that they tried to bury on us, called Tiptoes. The trailer's been popular on the internet for years. A lot of people think it's a joke, but Matthew McConaughey is never funny on purpose. So if you don't want to know what happens, turn the channel now, preferably to another station in the Viacom family. I want to start by telling you who's in this movie. Matthew McConaughey, Kate Beckinsale, Gary Oldman, Patricia Arquette, and that little dude from Elf. There was a lot of little people in Elf, but the one that wrote the books and stormed in, "You call me midget one more time," or call me Elf one more time. That guy. That guy's in it. All right, so that's legitimately some A-list stars. So you're like, oh, this has got to be okay. It's so horrendous on so many levels. Okay, and it was made in 2003. Now, you wouldn't even expect it to be made in 2003 when you see the FBI warning label that pops up. Because for some reason, it looks like the original one. It's so old, it's like FBI, like the font is different, the colors are faded. So that's very bizarre. And you probably want to know what trailers what previews were on this movie, on the DVD. The only one that was on there was The Underworld, which I cannot imagine less of a crossover audience. Like, people that like The Underworld will love some artsy movie about little people. And the only person that would actually watch both of those movies is the guy that's, like, right now digging through Kate Beckinsale's trash. Like the guy that will eventually murder her is like, yeah, no, I loved them all. I loved all of them. Okay, so we watched it here in the writer's room, and I put two couches up on the desk. We have a big desk. I put two couches because our TV's hiding. Normally we just watch it for our awful videos, but so we had that set up. Everybody's sitting in there. I'd say about 30 people. The lights came down. It's very nice. The lights didn't come down. We don't have dimmers. We just have switches. We have switches. We have switches. The lights went off. We started about 5, because it got dark pretty quickly into the film. None of this is relevant. I want to clear my throat. Okay, all right, so the movie starts. The first scene is Kate, she's an artist. She's in a beautiful little loft, and she's working on a big piece. By the way, the piece that she's working on is almost finished. There was some debate in the office of how good it was. I liked it. That was fine. It was just, just abstract color, a lot of pinks, but it's huge. The canvas was like 10 foot by 20 foot. Like, I don't even know where you buy that one. That's like, you have to have already made it as an artist to be like, I need a couple of these for something I'm working on. That's just not a cheap piece of canvas. All right, so she's painting, and she's got she's fucking hot, and there's like just a little bit of paint. They always get paint on them, like right on their face. Like, I'm a painter, so I've got paint on my face. Matthew, I call them by their real names because I don't remember their character name. Matthew comes in, he's dressed to the nines, tuxedo, and he's going somewhere, and she's like, well, where are you going? And like, they've been dating for a long time. You don't know that information right now, but they've been dating for a while. And he's like, oh, it's nothing. I just have this thing, and you're not invited. And she's like, oh, well, why don't I blow you? like literally, she just drops to her knees, and I'm like, at this moment, I'm like, this movie might be okay. Like, that's literally the open scene. And he's like, no. Like, anytime in a movie where a guy's like, no, I don't want a blowjob, I just immediately it's like, okay, this is a movie. This doesn't happen in the real world. So she's like, no blood. By the way, the movie's rated R, which was another thing that I was like, oh, this could be possibly okay. Like, I'm thinking we're going to see some, I don't know, weird gangbangs on a dwarf. But there really was nothing that was R-worthy, so I'm confused by that rating. And somebody's like, well, they said fuck 3 times. But I'm like, that's not, you can say fucking PG-13. I don't know what the number is, but... Okay, so the next scene, here's the big thing. Gary Oldman, if you know his work, he's playing a little person in this, and and then they say right there in the movie, here's how they set up Gary Oldman, like, play that clip of him.
And in the role of a lifetime, Gary Oldman.
Okay. This is a role of a lifetime for him. Because he's not a little person, and he's going to play a little person. So what does he do? They just crudely have him, like, just pull your arms back a little bit. I'm positive that's it. Like, just go like this. A little person. And then they just comically put bad legs on him. Like he's sitting on a couch, just awful fake legs sticking out. So the opening scene of him, the next thing after the blowjob, it goes right to the side of a road, someplace in the canyon. Most of this is in LA, I can tell. There was no going on. By the way, I can't imagine they spent more than 3 days shooting this thing. Also, on the DVD, 0 extras. That means no, we got to put everything in. We're putting all our eggs in one basket on this one. There wasn't one. The only extra is you can pick a different language, which we honestly spent 7 minutes debating, should we do that? And then we couldn't figure it out because the French version was 1 minute longer. And I assume that's just because their language, it just takes longer over a duration of 90 minutes. 91 minutes is running time, 92 in France. Or wherever you're watching it in French. By the way, weird thing with the French, a lot of French Canadian accents throughout this whole movie for no reason at all. Peter Dinklage. The greatest name for a famous little person actor. Dinklage. So him and Gary Oldman on the side of the road on their motorcycles, but they're not real motorcycles because LPs can't, little person. LPs can't ride motorcycles. I don't think they can ride street legal ones. I'm sure they can. I'm sure I'll get letters. Yes, we can. And then, whoa. They have those, the 3-wheel ones. One's the 2 in the back, 1 wheel in the front. The awful, you got to be a complete fucking pile of shit to. No, this is what I drive. And by the way, that's the loophole in the future of carpool lane cars, is they're making these aerodynamic cars with 3 wheels, but still cars that are and 3-wheel cars can ride in carpool lanes with one person because they consider you still a motorcycle. That has nothing to do with it. Sometimes I just like to. By the way, Patricia Arquette is always dressed ridiculous in this movie. And her hair is dyed just a bright red because she's an artist. Okay, so they're on the side of the road. Those two on the side of the road. Gary is the first time you see him, and he's just can't walk. He's always got a cane. So they're pulled over for they're peeing. They're just peeing on the side of the road. And they're just peeing in plain sight. It's not hard for a little person to find a place to hide. To pee, but no effort. A bus stops, and just whether it's a tour bus or just a regular city bus. I don't know. Are there city buses that go through Malibu? I doubt it. But it stops and it kicks Patricia Arquette out because she's being drunk, and she gets out and her hair's braided. What was I think? Whatever. Bo Derek style, is that? Yeah, cornrows, cornrows, tight little jean skirt, and she's just all like, ah! Dinklage is like, oh, there's my girl. Hot girl gets thrown out of bus, I'm on it. So he pulls his, can we just call it a big wheel at this point? He pulls his big wheel up, and he's like, hey, you need a ride? And she's weighing her options, oh, do I walk, or do I get on a death trap with somebody that clearly does not have a license of any kind? All right, so she gets on. She's like, yeah, we're off. And so they're off. And I don't even know where they're going. They end up pulling up into some ratty hotel in L.A., a motel. It is a famous motel that's here in this town. Is it famous? It's recognizable. It's on La Cienega, I think. I've never stayed there. So they pull in there, and just for no reason, he's just sitting on the bed and he just screams, I need a fucking crepe. I can't figure out why. It was just in case you didn't know he was doing a bad French accent. I fucking need a crepe. It literally, I'm not making this movie doesn't, parts of it just don't make sense at all. So they're on the bed, and the girl's there, and he's like, I'm gonna, I'm sorry, hold on. Gary Oldman, he's like, by the way, it doesn't matter, I'll save that. Gary Oldman is like, I need to get to bed. He's had a long, rough day riding. Actually, I skipped a part. Let me go back. I'll get back to this hotel. They were riding to this LP convention, Right. That's normal. LPs, they get together, they meet, they want to be around each other. Life is tough for them. I'm not going to deny that. So they have these conventions. A lot of times, that's where they meet, they hang out. I assume they just fuck. That's all it really is. It's just big weird fuck fest. And they have entertainment. Who's the entertainment, would you think, at the little person convention? David Alan Grier. Yeah, in a bad wig, just like up there, like singing, and they're just, everybody's like, oh, like he's the greatest. Like, why he's forget it. I know why he said yes. It's the same reason he said yes to fucking everything. When's Chocolate News coming back? Oh, is that a low blow? Really? All right, so he's up there singing at the convention, and Matthew McConaughey walks in. That's where he is. And you meet his mom for the first time. And she's not really mad that he's late. She's really mad that his twin brother, who is Gary Oldman, is late. So Matthew McConaughey's... So Matthew has a twin with the little person, who I would say they have at least a 10-year age gap, too. By the way, his brother's name, Matthew McConaughey's name is Stephen. Okay? And his twin brother's name is Rolf. Rolf. Because when you're naming, like, even if you do the sonogram, you're like, oh, we're having twins, they're two boys. Like, oh, they're like, okay, they're gonna be twins. And, oh, well, one of them's gonna have a handicap. You know, it's gonna be a little person. It's gonna be a really tough, horrible life. We'll give that one Rolf. The other one with the chiseled abs, let's go Steven. And Rolf. All right, so you meet the... I just think that's awful. Okay, so he finally shows up on both of them, the two little people, and then, what's her name, Patricia Arquette, who is looking more and more like her tranny brother. Pulls up late to the convention on their three-wheel, and immediately they get out, and the convention's kind of over, and Matthew McConaughey and his mom are walking out, and they're mad that he's late, but they talk for a minute, and then they say to the other guy, the Dinklage character, and Arquette, they say, you guys be careful. Like they already act like they're a couple. Like, you guys be careful and don't steal any food in there. And she gets mad, like, oh, I'll steal food. God brought it here. It's all of us. We must consume it. It doesn't make any sense to me now saying it. And so they walk inside, and then they talk like, oh, why were you late? And he's like, oh, I've been having a tough time. And then 1 minute later, you see that the couple's walking back out, and he's throwing a beer bottle, like, fuck you guys. And they're like, what happened? Oh, they kicked us out for stealing food. It was just so horrible. These are A stars. Like, they have to be on the phone, like, at this point with their agents. I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't get me off this shoot. All right, so whatever, that goes on. So now it flashes back to the hotel. The two little people, they're back at the hotel with Patricia Arquette, and he's like, I'm gonna bang her tonight. And then all of a sudden he starts having like seizures, and he's hurting, and he's like, oh, I just need my fucking pain medicine. And then Oldman's like gonna call a doctor for him, but he's like, do not call a doctor. Like, he just screams at him, and their beds are right next to each other. By the way, Gary Oldman at this point is wearing a robe. It's a cheap motel, so it's not a motel robe. They don't give out robes there. You have to be at a certain, I would say, 3.5 star and up to get a robe. Fair? Fair. Okay, so he's in a robe that he clearly brought, that he owns. It is so huge and enormous. Like, it's just like you wouldn't own that robe if you've been a little person your entire life. You know, like, so it's just comically huge. Like, we get it, you're small. And oh, by the way, he has this weird fake shoulder lump that's so, like, it's literally like, just take that throw pillow and ram it in there. And that'll, like, add more depth to your character. So that is pain. Okay, so then he's like, oh, I'm just trying to go to sleep. And the other guy's just trying to bang. But it doesn't actually lead to banging at all. And then it just cuts out. Now we get to some better stuff. Now it goes to the other bedroom. Matthew McConaughey comes home, and she's like, where have you been? He's like, oh, nowhere. And she's like, well, I need to talk to you. And she's like, you know, I think I might be pregnant. And he's like, what? How can you be pregnant? Like, you know, I always take precautions. She's like, yeah, but like 3 times a week, you bang me while you're sleeping. I will say, Like he sleep rapes her. 3 times a week. Like he wears protection all the time except for when he's asleep, that's when he goes in bare. Like just like. By the way, he's shirtless and he's wearing tight white briefs. So I mean that's what you want when you're putting Matthew in a film. They're like, okay, this is what we paid for. And he looks incredible, I guess. He looks incredible. There's no denying that. It's a good-looking man. He was like, she's pregnant, and he's like, I don't know if I can deal with this. And then all of a sudden, he just leaves. He was furious. I think he was just going downstairs to do crunches. I don't know. That's my guess. And has that ever worked? Have you ever been in a relationship where you've gotten in a fight and you've stormed off and like you just spent the night somewhere else? Like you have to you just know, if you leave, you're just adding hours to the fight before you get to go to sleep. That's my theory. I don't like, and I'm not one of those people who buys into that, you can't go to bed mad. Like I go to bed angry, but I'll settle it just so I can fucking close my eyes. So he just takes off. He just leaves. Oh, and he goes, I got exams. I got exams. I can't deal with this now. Right. I'm like, what? Are you pretending that you're a sophomore? Because I'll lose my mind. But no, he wasn't. That later we find out that he wasn't. By the way, we're about 30 minutes into the movie, and Jones, which is one of the writer girls on the show, her dog just has the worst gas possible. Just rips one, so that makes everybody angry. The movie's bad. It's horrible to watch, and now it just reeks in there. So, like, we throw the dog out. Like, the dog has to get locked up. That's neither here nor there, but it was a moment that we all remember. Okay, so now it's morning time in the hotel room, and Oldman's gone, and it's just the other two. Did they have sex? I don't think so, but it's 3 o'clock. Now, if you're going to... Most hotels, if you give them a heads up when you check in, hey, I might need an extended checkout, they'll give you 1 o'clock as a courtesy. Sometimes if you call that day at 11 in the morning, hey, they'll push it to 3. But if you haven't called down, expect a pound on your door. So they're pounding on the door at 3 o'clock. This is just me giving you hotel travel tips. Pounding on the door. The maid's like, come on, hurry up, you guys got to check out. I need to go home. Okay, first of all, a maid is not going to, she's just going to leave. She's not going to, I have to work. I can't leave till I do all my work. But she gets the manager to pound on the door. He's like, it's 3 o'clock, you guys get out of here. He's pounding on the door. And all of a sudden, why can't I ever say his name? All of a sudden, Dinklage just reaches under the pillow that they're both sleeping on with a huge 9mm. Like, I'll fucking fix this manager that wants us to check out at a reasonably late hour. So he just got a pistol. Again, this is not supposed to be a comedy. It's just supposed to be like a really good movie. This movie went to Sundance. Yeah, it is. Right. I would love to have just been there watching this going, oh shit, their careers are all over. But they're not. They just keep being more and more famous. That's why I'm doing this, because people need to watch it and hold them accountable for the fucking shit they did. The fact that they could read that script and be like, I'm in. You said a role of a lifetime, right? Okay. So anyway, he doesn't get a chance to shoot him because Patricia Arquette, who is still drunk, she just runs out of the room and just starts beating the fuck out of the manager. Like, just starts fighting him. He's like, all right, well, I guess I can put the gun away. End of that scene. By the way, the scenes don't even really they just literally go to a black screen and then the next screen starts. There's a weird time lapse. You don't know what happened. It's bizarre. Okay. So now, So now the next shot is the loft garage door, where Matthew lives and his girlfriend. They're at the, Matthew's gone for his exams, wherever. All of a sudden there's a knock at their apartment. But they don't have a front door. They have a garage door because it's like such a cool, trendy loft, like the cable, open up, in this beautiful. It's not a lot of cabinet space in the kitchen though. I will point that out. There was only 2 cabinets and some shelving. Everything was really sleek, cool spiral staircase to the bedroom upstairs, but But besides that, I was like, it's a disappointing kitchen. And very impractical. You don't ever want to really Halloween, constantly having to open that garage up? It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You're probably saying kids don't trick-or-treat in the warehouse district. Good point. All right. So it's Gary Oldman. He's caning it up, and he's knocking on the door. He's like, "Hey, is Steven home?" And she's like freaked out. There's a little person, and she doesn't. And he's like, "No, she's not. He's going to be gone for a week." And he's like, "Oh, I'm his brother. I'm his twin brother." And she's like, "Oh!" Like she loses her mind. Like, "Oh, he never brought you up." I love these people that can have relationships and just completely, there's just no honesty whatsoever. "Oh, you never remember." He's like, "Oh, well, I'm his twin brother." And she's like, "Well, then come on in and immediately just if you see a little person at your door, he's like, "I'm your boyfriend's twin brother that you've never heard of. Come on in." I skipped no, he didn't go here first. Don't worry about it. We'll get back to this. He first goes to his ex-girlfriend's house, okay? Knocks on her door, her apartment. And who is it? It's Bridget the Midget, okay? Are you familiar with her work? Little person porn actress. Great little face, but... And then the conversation... Okay. Then the conversation came up, would I have sex with a little person? And I was in a blowjob frame of mind. I'm like, "Oh, but it looked like a monster eating you." Which is mean, but it was just the way her face was. And she's really slutty, and she lives in an apartment, and all of a sudden they start talking, and it's clear they have a past, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, get in the bedroom, hide in the bedroom. So-and-so's coming home." And he's like, "Who is this?" And some weird Egyptian guy comes in, and she's like, "Trust me, I didn't do anything with her. I promise, I didn't do anything." She's like, "Well, I had sex with him twice." And he comes barging in the bedroom, immediately finds me like, "Who the fuck is this?" And it's back and forth, and then he just starts beating the shit out of Gary Oldman. And he hits her. But what is worse? I ask. I mean, I don't know. Is hitting a woman worse or a little person? It's just a question. I don't know. I don't know what I would feel more comfortable, hitting a woman or beating the fuck out of. I think I would say what hitting a woman's worse. Saying that out loud made me go, "It's fucking obviously worse, hitting a woman." But when you watch it, you just feel so bad for a guy that can't do anything. So he gets the shit beat out of him. Okay? So now, and he's mad, so he hobbles out of there. He leaves. And then he ends up at that garage. Now, take all that stuff I said before. So he's beat up, and she invites him in to take care of him. And I was curious here, was she giving him adult dosage of prescription? It clearly has to be based on weight. So she didn't spend any time. She gave him, and he was just so amazed. "Oh, your couch is so comfortable." There's a weird, but then you just see his fake legs. It's just so embarrassing how bad these. He's clearly inside the couch delivering these lines. And then and she starts talking to him a little bit. Within 1 second, he falls asleep. So he's just asleep on their couch, and she gets on the phone immediately. With Matthew, and like, "Wait," or Steven, whatever, Matthew McConaughey, and she's like, "Hey, you need to get here home." Meanwhile, he's at a camp to train new recruits for firefighting. So he's just out in the woods somewhere, screaming at people, and she's like, "How come you didn't tell me that your brother's here and you're a little person?" And he's like, "Oh, I forgot. I don't know what he said. He blew it off. And hold on, I got something." She decides right away to tell the brother that she just met, "By the way, I'm pregnant." And she's like, "What's the chances that I have, a dwarf inside me?" And he's like, "It's pretty good." Which I'm not sure. I don't know the math on it. I think if you have an average height, I think maybe a 25% chance. But he's saying pretty good. That's based on zero research, by the way. So she's worried. So he's like, "Well, I'll take you to some of my friend's house." So he takes them to some other little people's friend's house, and they start. It's some political little person, and he's got some newfound slut that he met at the LP convention, and they're just talking, and they have kids, and they're all little people. By the way, at that convention, Matthew was dancing with all the little girls, just constantly. And just bent over the entire time, just like, look, I'm so okay with this. As if dancing's not horrible enough. But now I'm gonna like, and okay, all right, enough of that. So they meet some friends and they tell them like, oh, you know, it's gonna be okay. It's, you know, raising a little person is fun. I don't know if that's what they said. Like, it's good. There's good parking. So anyway, then she gets home. Matthew McConaughey is in bed with her again, and she is just freaking out. She's like, you know, I don't know if I can deal with this. And he's like, yeah, no, it's okay. And she's starting to come around on it, like, well, have you ever been with a little person? And he's like, well, once. When I was a kid, you were just playing games and stuff, and she's like, oh, you were in a circle jerk? I would have loved to have seen that. And, like, seriously, play that line.
You had a circle jerk with a bunch of little people? I would love to see that.
Yeah. See, that just gave me some credibility. Like, I'm not just rambling. These are the fucking real lines that they were saying. Right, like now she's okay. Like, it was funny because like she was like, she ran to him all at this. By the way, she said he's gone for a week, but he's only like 30 minutes away because she just goes and checks on him right away. Like, why didn't you tell me that you have a family of midgets? And he's like, whoa, they are little people. Meanwhile, she's dressed like a gnome. Like, she has a stupid hat on. Like it's just everything is wrong. But and then the next time in the bed, she's like, oh, so she says little people. And he goes, oh, you're learning the language. That's really good. Like, you're learning that's it. That's the only fucking language. There's like one thing. There's not, besides like, oh, out of the way. You know. Stop. It's not language. Okay, so they're talking, and he's like, I just don't know if I'm ready for this kid, and blah, 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 and he's kind of freaked out. And she goes, well, maybe you need, and he's normal, in bed, they're having a good time. And then she goes, well, maybe you need to see a therapist. And he just, fuck you, like, it just escalates way too quickly, and he's just, that's it, he's out of there. He fucking takes off for a little bit. I think it was just another excuse for him to, like, you know, show his body. I really do. I think that's what they do in that movie. Like okay, well, he's under the covers for a long time. Like, get him out. Okay, all right. So now he's back at this fire training thing for a week. They're training the recruit. And he's yelling at people. Wait, it's literally like a scene from Full Metal Jacket with the sergeant just screaming at him. But it's like a guy putting out a fire. He's like, you're not doing it right. If you can't carry that hose, people are gonna die. It's really bad. He's just screaming at people, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets, because then that night, he's on the phone. I guess he has to spend the night. He has to spend the night with these kids, these new recruits, these firefighters. And that's why he can't come home for a week. Well, she's on the phone with him that night. And he is just mad because she went and visited the family. And he's like, oh, well, I'm fucking done. I gotta go. And he just takes the phone and he just throws the phone. Like, he just throws it. Like nobody does that. That's another thing. It's a movie. Like, your contacts are in there. I don't care how fucking cool you think you are. You're not gonna fucking throw your phone. Like that's all your shit. So then it fast forwards to another hot, super hot, like new fire cadet woman, blonde, that walks up and she's like, hey, what was that all about? And he's like, nothing. What are you doing tomorrow night? And it just cuts out right there. And then the next scene is a party the next night, all little people party. And she's already there with his little person brother, twin brother, and he shows up with this blonde. And it's like, oh, and he's like, hey, this is she works with it. And she's like, oh, okay, hey. And that's it. That's the end of that. Like, they clearly cut out a scene that was an affair, but like, it just doesn't exist. It makes no sense. She just showed up to the party, and then she was gone. It's not funny. It was just so I can't explain how bad that was. She just showed up. So there's this little person party, and everybody's there. Out of nowhere, Gary Oldman's like, I can't find Bridget. well, it's not her name, but whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And all of a sudden, these lights turn on in this like Hollywood Hills party, and David Alan Grier is fucking her. And it's the lights turn on, and you realize it's an entirely glassed-in room. There's no curtains. So everyone in the party is just like watching this. And he's like, how could you? And she's like, oh, it just happened. And it's so awkward. And then he storms off mad. And then Matthew goes out to chase after him to make sure he's okay. He's like, hey, I heard about what happened. I mean, what do you mean you heard about what? It was a small house party, and there was a huge black dude fucking Bridget the Midget. In broad daylight of everybody. Like, oh, you heard about it? You know, first of all, like there was nobody was obstructing his sight line. Like, you see, it was 8 feet away from him. All right, so that was like, he's like, you just need to stay away from her, but he can't. He just loves her so much. Blah blah blah. All right, so now Matthew agreed. Like, listen, let's go meet. You need to meet my family. So she goes over there, and of course he's got two little people for parents, and then his brother's there, and they're talking. And then she invites her parents. And of course, she doesn't give her parents a heads up at all that they're little people. And she's like, and the mom just walks in and she's like, oh, and she goes, if you embarrass me, I'll never speak to you again. And her mom's just like, oh, and the dad just starts drinking and telling bad jokes. And then the mom's like, they're eating, and she just says, we have to stop right now. I need to say this. And then the daughter's like, do not do this to me. Do not. She's like, no, I cannot let this go on. I have to say this. And everybody's like, oh, don't do it. And even the drunk dad. And she's pleading with her father, Father, make her stop. And she's like, no, someone has to say this. Will you have a Jewish wedding? And they're all like, oh! We thought you were going to be a good parent and stop all this fucking nonsense. But no, she wanted to make sure, and they're all like, yes, we'll have a Jewish wedding. So the big Jew joke right there. Everybody was so excited about it. So then they have the wedding. It's outside in a park. There's like, they paid for no extras in this except for little people. The wedding is 4 rows deep, 3 seats across. Right, like two. First of all, who comes to a wedding in 3s? Like, oh no. 24 people total. I get it, but it's just the seat. It was awful. It was in a park, and then behind them, way behind them, on a blanket is Patricia Arquette, and they're just drunk. They're out there. They were having a picnic, but they were watching the wedding. They wanted to be a part of it, but they didn't want to be too close because he's so edgy and drunk, and she's so fucking crazy artsy. I don't know what she is, but my bigger question was how do little people fold blankets? I mean, it's not easy when you have a partner with a good wingspan. My theory is there's a lot of this going on. That's just a theory. So they have by the way, the wedding, she's 9 months pregnant now. Like, just immediate, no reference to any time. It's just now she's just 9 months pregnant. And are you allowed to be 9 months pregnant at a traditional Jewish wedding? Curious. Don't know. But they were, they did the whole 9, and she was pregnant. So the next thing is they're at the delivery room. She's pushing out this baby. And this is bizarre to me that I won this, but everybody in the office, is she going to have a little person baby? And I'm like, of course, right? Of course, there's no way they're going to have an average, like that's on a movie. Anyway, so we're all betting on that. But they're in the delivery scene, and in walks the doctor, who's a little person. No, of course. Of course they can be doctors, but like really you have to keep pounding it. Like it's just. So, and by the way, can't a sonogram tell if you're having a little person? They can tell everything. They can tell if your kid's like what his IQ's going to be. I'm positive they can say like, listen, you're not going to have to dilate past 3 centimeters. This thing is going to fire out of you. So Now, everybody in the office, as soon as they see the little part, is swearing that this is a dream sequence. Like, this is a dream. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. They're like, no, it is. It's a dream. Because Matthew's literally pacing behind his wife's legs like, it better not be a little person. Like, and then the baby comes out, beautiful. And then we started talking about, like, the union rules in shooting movies, like a baby, like, what's a baby cost? But, like, I bet a little person baby's, like, even more expensive. We're thinking 3 times the going rate, but that, I don't know. It's a legitimate question. By the way, everybody that holds this baby from this forward, it's not a baby. It's literally a chunk of wood. There's no bend, there's no move, it's just a blanket over a log, and it's... Again, I'm going to point out there's 4 real actors in this movie. 5. 4.5, whatever. So it's a little person baby. I win that one. It's not a dream sequence. Matthew sees that it's a little person baby in the delivery room, just starts punching the wall. Just ape shit mad that it's a little person. No, I'm not making that. That is immediately after he had his first son. This is mind-blowing to me. All I hope is that I have a healthy baby. And he's tall. Okay. All right, so that's the first sign that he's not happy about this. Next thing you know, they're back in their apartment. Their loft is not safe for a kid. That's when you have to give up the loft. Once you have a baby, you have to give up a loft. That's not the right environment to raise a child. Their staircase, they have a metal spiral staircase. No kid's going to ever be able to navigate that thing. That's just, all right, whatever. That's regard. That has nothing to do with anything. But Matthew just starts screaming at his wife. This is time has gone by. 6 months, 9 months, something like that. The baby's older. Still just as a longer log at this point. And he starts screaming at her, "You haven't said it in 9 months. Our baby's a dwarf. Say it." He's just screaming at her and the baby, screaming at her. Just, call him a dwarf. Like, call him a dwarf. And she's like just trying to hide her log from this, like, and she storms off, and he's like, I think it's going to be better for you and the kid if I just leave. Yeah, that's what most mothers and wives think after they've had like a child that's going to need special. You know what would be easy if I could do this alone? If you could just go out and fuck young hot chicks, and I could take care of this. That would make this so much easier. Meanwhile, she's an artist, and they asked her, like, oh, what do you do for a living? She's like, I'm an artist, and she goes, oh, how's that working out? She goes, it pays the bills. I don't know why that's funny to me, but I've never seen an artist say it pays the bill. By the way, that one conversation where she was on the phone and he was in the park and through the phone, it is nothing but a tight shot of her face on it. That is beyond bizarre. Like, there's no edit. It's just right on her mug. It's so awful. You can't even watch it without going, what the fuck? Please? Like, I don't need to be a part of this conversation that badly. Okay, so he up and leaves. He's like, I gotta go bang chicks. He didn't say that, but let's be honest, you're not letting that body sit around. So she has no place to turn, so she goes out to this log cabin that no one has ever heard of, that's within driving distance, out in the middle of the woods, where his twin brother now lives, with Patricia Arquette and the other, Dinklage, that character. They're out there. They're still together. They're in a jacuzzi. They're drunk. They're just constantly drunk, and he's screaming about politics and how stupid America is, or something like that. I really can't let. And he's farting. He constantly farts. I never brought that up. He farts constantly. So the 3 of them are living out there. She pulls up in a car with the baby and goes, "Hey, I had no place to turn." Okay, first of all, you didn't meet this guy. You had no friends. I don't understand that. Like, you should know. She was like a super hot chick. She's Kate Beckinsale. She fucking jumps off buildings and just like... Is that a lichen you could go visit? She'd already done Underworld, and then this should be my next project. No, I know that franchise is going to make me fucking billions, but let me do something I can sink my teeth into. Okay, so she turns there, and then she says to, by the way, when she walks up to the house, immediately just goes and kisses the brother right on the mouth. Yeah, I don't like when people kiss on the mouth. I'm not a big fan of people kissing on the cheek, but mouth is really bizarre when people are comfortable to do that. Whatever. So that night he's like, yeah, of course, you can stay here. And she's sleeping, and at night he sneaks into the room and takes the baby, which first of all, he's an uncle, but he can barely walk. I don't care if it is a fake baby you're holding. Like, the whole time I'm like, he's going to drop that fake baby. Because he barely can get out. But he just takes... That is not something you want to wake up to either. Just like your first night in a log cabin in the woods, and there's a little person with a cane carrying your baby out of your room. She sees it. I'll let it go. She lets it go. And I can finally get some sleep. Well, the next, I don't know if it's the next day or 4 years later. Nothing makes sense at this point. Oh, and out of nowhere, the other two get in a fight. They get in a huge fight, and they just leave. And you never hear from them again. That's just, apparently they were married. I don't know. They're just gone. They don't live there anymore. They had lived there. They're gone. We're getting to the very end here, I think. So Matthew McConaughey stops by the next day, pulls into the driveway, and actually he parks up top and walks down. It's a nice cabin. It's a lot of acreage. I'm sure you don't have to upkeep. You probably have to keep just around the area, keep that fire safe. But past that, you've got like 6-7 acres that you just let it grow. So he pulls up, and he's like, "Hey, I just wanted to see Vincent." They named their baby Vincent, by the way. Nah, I don't think that's good either. A little perfect Vincent Rolf and Vincent. Rolf's the uncle. So he stops by and he's like, "Hey, I just want to check the kid out." And you think he's going to get his shit together, but he's like, "Yeah, I just think life's like just easier, like back single at the loft." And they're all worried about him. They're like, "Yeah, you've been through a lot. You should go get yourself right." Like everyone is compassionate to him. Like, you're supposed to. He's a fucking piece of shit in real life. But he's such a piece of shit in this movie, everybody like feels. But make sure I hope he gets better. I hope he gets the help that he needs. So he just leaves. Like, yeah, I don't want to raise a kid. And then he looks at his brother and goes, "I hope you're not mad at me, but you'll take care of it?" His brother's like, "Yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. I am your twin brother, who's 15 years older. I'll take care of it." And so he leaves, and then they're like, "Oh, huh. All right, well, I guess it's back to the log cabin." Literally, at this point, you can't help but make a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs reference, because you see her walking back, and then these little kids, I mean, not kids, but sleepy, and so they go back into the cabin, and then again, back to them. She's asleep, and he's outside. She wakes up in the middle of the night and just walks out and just sits by him and just reflects. And there's tons of stars in the sky, and she's like, "Oh, this is gonna be tough." And she looks at him and he looks at her, and then she goes, "You can kiss me if you want." And they start making out, and the movie ends. And that's Tiptoes. Yeah, no.